We have juicy, juicy stuff in this classroom today. Bring on your attention because this will transform your life. Of course, we have to do life, but not just do it. Equally as much, we have to experience it. Why? Because we live in a world that is bombarded with input, information, more and more so. It's growing exponentially each day. And with this growth, with this greater speed of how we receive information, is also the tendency for us to want to stay in the mind, to want to figure everything out, all the big things that we have no control over, and just live there, while actual life is passing us by. You see, the mind is magnificent. The mind provides creative solutions to our problems, yes. And we have the obligation to tap into that when there are so many big problems to solve. However, we have to also be aware of the limitations of this magnificent mind. And one thing that is certain to release these restrictions that the mind is bound by is the organs of perception. I am talking about our ability to be here in an enchanted forest with open hearing all of its sounds. And from this commitment to listening, that what we receive is the thing we most need, which is silence. That silence descends upon us because we have opened ourselves to hear. That the juice of life, the flavor of life, the delight of being alive comes from something as simple as tasting the moisture in our mouths when we're about to eat something that we enjoy. Let me give you a more concrete example from my life experience. This place reminds me so much of this little character that I'm about to talk to you about, because I named the place in the same way that I named him, Yoda. This is Yoda's forest. So once upon a time, it's a real true story, Mel, the daughter of a client, hands me this little four-legged creature and says, Christiane, please take care of him just for today. I will find him a place tomorrow. I said, okay, I will do that for you. You know, later she became my sister-in-law, the mother of four of my magnificent nieces and nephews. But at the time, it was like, okay, I'll do you this favor, but just tomorrow you pick this up, okay? So as I go on this walk with this little creature, I catch my irritability rising rather quickly. I want to move on to the next thing, but all he wants to do is spend more time sniffing and sniffing away. So of course, I recognize that there was something here in this challenge for me. And so Yoda became my best friend of 16 and a half years. And in this process, I, along the way, made the decision to appreciate the magnificent mind moving and wanting me to go and do the things that I was intended to do, but give it a break. And in the same way that my animal was tuning in to his senses, that I would do that as well. And so caring for him and his necessity in the way of walking him each day, a couple times a day, also became my own necessity, one that transformed my life. Just 2 days ago, this dear client, Amanda, comes to me and she says, Christiane, I need help with taking on a meditation practice. I go, okay, well, why do you want a meditation practice? I want to become more connected to my essence. She's a wise one. She's got little kids. She's got a full-time career, a lot of busyness, and she wants to center. So I ask her about her morning routine. She tells me, oh, Christiane, I feel the need, like I feel so compelled to hug that pillow for as long as I can into the very last minute when Ronan calls me to that he needs his mommy. Understandably. So here's one thing that I proposed to her, and she agreed because she felt that was doable, reasonable for her daily to explore in her rhythm of her daily life for the coming week. While from the moment you first wake up, whether it's the alarm that's snoozing and then you have to keep pressing the snoozing, whatever that is, from that moment when you first awaken, you're no longer deep asleep, that you can stay in this relaxed state with your hugging your pillow, but also awake and aware enough that you can be aware of sensations in your body, that you can tune in to intuition and ask for guidance to be with you throughout the day. I ask for wonder each morning in those moments, but I didn't share that part with her, just however it comes for her. To inspire you, perhaps, to bring more of these aware moments into other things that you do along the day while busy and so on. And then she shared a few other items. We went through a few other items, but one here that's a value in, as it relates to this, our choice to become more present to the things that we already do without having to take extra time. Because this is important, because time is a major barrier, right? Naturally so. We have 24 hours in the day. We already have in our calendars those 24 hours pretty much booked, right? Outside of the sleep time or this or that. So it's natural that as we long to integrate into our lives more of a natural flow, more ease, that we do this not by adding more to already a full plate, but to simply transform how we are perceiving something that's already there in place. So another thing, as I was about to share, was that her neck was hurting a lot. And again, taking on a regular yoga practice, as she did back before she had the neck pain, is not realistic at this time. Okay, but what is it that she's already doing that is physical, not too much mental, that that I can possibly encourage a little bit more neck awareness. So she goes, oh, I garden every day. I don't ever skip that. This is really important to me. So I'm like, perfect. While you're there nourishing your plants, how about also simultaneously, because you could do both, dropping the shoulders, dropping that tension that you find in the shoulders right into the soil. Now, will Amanda come back to me a week from now and say, Christiane, I took on the practice, my neck pain is all gone, I am now even meditating for 20 minutes solid on its own? The answer is, it's possible. But really what this journey is about is, yes, of course, having the outcome that we want, being free from pain, yes, being more connected to ourselves, yes, but understanding that the process unfolds just like a flower blooms. It's not instant, but it's evident enough when we give our attention to it. In other words, provided Amanda indeed keeps this practice on a daily basis, these two simple little practices that don't take any additional time, naturally what will unfold is the desire to center, to connect more deeply beyond the hugging the pillow time, the desire to release tension from the neck beyond the gardening time. That is the natural progression of things. Because while the tendency that I mentioned earlier to be in the mind, to be in the fast moving mind when everything outside of us is moving so fast, although that spiraling is a natural spiral, there's also a just as natural rhythm that begins to unfold as we little by little turn inwardly. And this is why I invite you to join me on the movement of wonder. When we give ourselves permission to slow down enough that we can be in a more relaxed state, the busyness of the mind, those temptations to solve the things outside of our capacity, they are not as compelling as they once were. What becomes more and more interesting, and that's why I call Seduced by Wonder, what becomes even more seductive is that curiosity towards integrating what is essential to our survival, to our to our capacity to thrive into our daily lives. Because of course, as we do that, we can then have much greater capacity to be out there in the world, helping in all the ways that help is needed. So, Seduced by Wonder is currently a free offer. We have a beautiful, beautiful community in there already in the classroom. And what we do is basically we explore practices that help us experience more of life while doing it. Yes, we're always going to be doing life for as long as we are alive. That's part of the process. But without falling into the temptation of just doing it. That's the critical difference. I hope it resonates with you. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear. And also, it may Your comment, your feedback will inspire the continuation of this conversation, because surely there's so much more here to unpack. From my heart to yours. Namaste.